You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series. We are live here from Pocono Raceway. This is the Sim Racing Media Network. My name is Angel Santiago. No broadcast partner here tonight. Unfortunately, my usual Sam Fraser, he is caught up at work. So we'll give a call to his job and tell him for keeping him away from us. But no problem here tonight. It'll be myself greeted with I think I saw about 17, 18 truck drivers in this race right now, out there doing their qualifying laps. All right, and double check this. All right. So while these drivers do go ahead and put down their qualifying laps, we want to thank everybody for joining us in our YouTube chat. I try to stay talking with you guys as much as possible today. Thank you, Duke, for joining us as always. We know him being a big fan of Jimmy Rowdy, who is currently, I think, who is tied for the point lead, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check that. But while we worry about that, we'll go ahead and go over the current race info, as we would say, or just going over what is the track temperature and all that. And yes, Jimmy Rowdy is tied for the lead in points. So at the very bottom, you'll also see the drivers as they make their qualifying laps, where they fall at the time of their qualifying laps. You see Steven Shu at the top of the board for the moment. That can very much change. These Ambient air temperature of 67 degrees, so a nice cool night here, or cool day at Pocono. 88% for the relative humidity, so it's going to be a little bit slick out there on the track. Looks like it'll be a little cloudy and 5 miles per hour wind, so shouldn't make too much of a difference. However, I would say 5 miles per hour is still enough. If it's a tailwind, I would almost say going down the front stretch. I feel like 5 miles per hour down the longest stretch there in NASCAR, and that could make quite a difference. Aside from that, it looks like it is 71 degrees for the track temperature right now. The altitude, of course, is sitting at about 1,900 feet above sea level. Of course, very, very opposite from here in the broadcast booth in Florida, where we're all probably just 100. Want to thank, of course, James Wagner's Welding for being our title sponsor for the series this season once again. Joining on now for their official second season as the title sponsor, but they were, of course, sponsors in the first season, deciding to move to that title sponsorship level in each of the last two. So big shout out to them, and of course AdminBoxx. So thank you to them for joining on here for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series. This is race number 4 of the season, so we're getting already kind of into the swing of things. You know, you get the nerves out to the first race or two, then race number 3, you're like, okay, let me kind of see where I'm at as well. So you just kind of trying to figure it out. And us also didn't really help the different types of tracks that we had to start the season. I mean, we went to Texas for the season opener, in which Matthew Ace won that one. Jimmy Rowdy would win race number 2 at Michigan, and then would win also last week's race at Indianapolis, which was originally scheduled to be on the dirt oval of Bristol, but then a schedule change would move it to the oval of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So this week we head to another track of just blistering speed. So all about the speed here, but really the first couple races of the season. However, very different types of speed that you can apply to these racetracks that we are at. Looks like qualifying is all set, so I'll shut up about that. We'll move over to qualifying. Hold on just one moment. All right, Daniel Love, he's gonna be on pole. I should almost say just not really all that surprising. I mean, Daniel Love is a guy he is fast. He knows how to put down those blistering laps. Last year, I know he hates that we have to bring it up, but it's my job as a broadcaster. He just dominated the race at Dover, and then for him to lose that race and really just the closing laps was definitely it's of course unfortunate and it hurts, but it also makes you grow as a driver, and it really wakes you up inside and says, all right, you know what, I can't get comfortable. Getting comfortable is what cost me, you know, what was probably my most dominant win that I could have had in my career. So Daniel Love going to start on pole. Steven Shu going to start alongside there in row number 1. Row 2, Jason Kinney, Andrew Smith. Andrew Smith in his comeback, missing an entire season and some change, is wow, having just a great comeback again now, qualifying into 4th position. Chris Barker running there in 5th. Jeff Scott in 6th. Row number 4 belongs to James Wagner and Chris Ramsey. James Wagner actually finished 3rd in their Gen 6 race on Monday night, so look for him to show some speed here, maybe even on the long run. You know, you can get these real nice long runs at a track like Pocono. Johnny Hurst and Rick Baldwin in row number 5. Row 6, excuse me. Row 6 belongs to Adam Sprinkle and Matthew Gall. Jeffrey Ledford, Jimmy Rowdy, who won back-to-back races the last 2. Row 7. Row 8, Ty Trafford and Chad Hawkins. Mickey Davino and Jonathan Vandenberg make up row 9. And the final driver in your starting grid for tonight's race, the only one not to attempt a qualifying lap, is Tim Richardson, one of the admins here for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series. I say this track is just long enough, so let's go ahead and switch it up and No, well, actually, let's go ahead and take that away first. And let's see if we can bring in Daniel Love quickly. Daniel, this is Angel here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I got you. I know you're about to go green. You're coming off turn 2. You got the pole for tonight, buddy. What you got to do to go out there and win this race, and how you feel? Well, if everybody didn't hear him, I lost him as well. I lost some connection there briefly again, so I'll come back to you if I have to. I apologize, and you get me back to where you're going to be going here and get you started.
All right.
Good luck tonight, Daniel, and go out there and get this win.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And we are green flag racing here from Pocono. I apologize. I just had a brief connection break there, so that kind of set me behind on everything here. We are green flag. They head into turn 1. Daniel Love from the pole going to clear for the first position. Let me get my live timing reset. It gets it really loose there off of turn 1. And that is going to cost him the lead. They're going to go 3 wide around him. And he is dropping positions quick now all the way back to the 5th position. That's a big slip up there for your pole sitter coming off of turn 1. They get through the tunnel turn here in turn 2. Very, very intricate turn there. You got to hit it just right. And the drivers now head into turn number 3. Steven Shu, your leader, as they go through 3. Hey, George. Oh, it's so nice to have you come join me here in chat. I know you always watch these races afterwards. Thanks for joining. This is a league you should join. This is a lot of fun. These guys have very respectful racing amongst each other. I'm going to try to get this reset as well so that we get our laps and not the time. There you go. It's lap 2. We do have 70 laps to complete here in this race. Of course, as always, 75% fuel. These drivers were gifted, as Tim Richardson said in the drivers meeting earlier today. He said, I'm going to gift you one more. Please do not abuse it. Let's make sure, let's have a good race here tonight. And they had a couple of cautions in their Monday night race here. And they said, we're going to go ahead and figure something out to give these drivers. And here we are, lap 3 now as they get through it. And this is something you're going to see, and it's typical, where I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, where you have these long green flag runs that can develop. Because these drivers, they get really strung out, you know. Once a couple of laps after that, those restarts, you just really don't have a ton of times where you're really trying to pass somebody. I mean, right now we're going to focus in, let's see, on the 46, of Christopher Barker and Chris Ramsey. They're side by side in the tunnel turn. Chris Ramsey going to give a ton of room and really nice run. So it's telling me that there's a good deal of grip on the racetrack for Chris Ramsey to be that high in the tunnel turn and still have enough momentum. I also imagine some cold tires still for the 46. Hard to put the power down. And also, it's lap 4 now. You know, it was lap. Okay, looks like I have another issue there. So give me 1 second, and I'm gonna give you guys just some nice green flag racing and double check to see what all could be possibly going on here. George, I know you got that NIS open. Good luck tonight, buddy. There, you know, I know you always has fun in those. Those are just they end way too late for me. I gotta go to bed here. So, but I'll be right back, everybody. Let me double check what's going on. All right, I don't know if that'll fix the issue. Sometimes my Ethernet cable gets a little bit loose. We'll double check. Didn't feel that way, but hopefully it was something as simple as that. We'll go back up here to the front of the pack. Steven Shu is still your leader, and right now he's got Andrew Smith, who is hungry right behind him. Andrew would love to win. You know, he really has not won in a long time. You know, was just a dominant driver in that first season. So a driver he definitely, a driver who definitely would love to see victory lane once again. And he is on the back bumper of that 00. One thing that they're gonna have to really work on is gonna have to be tire saving. You really got to be careful how much you push these tires early on. And if you're watching, really, that's probably the best advice anybody can, that I can give is the best time to tire save is early in the run. You know, once you've pissed off your tires, it's hard to come back from it. You can get them to cool down again, but the damage that you do to them really is just you can't get it back. So, and you just do yourself more damage in the long run. So, work early on in that run. Let these guys come back to you. And that's honestly just why I love these long green flag races like this. I know it's sometimes not so much fun for some other ones, but it's where I love it the most, because it just, everybody comes back to you. I'm the type of driver, I will have a 16-to-1 steering ratio, and I just love to save tires. And so when you have a nice long green runs like this is where you can really get into that groove, and that's where it's so much fun as well. And then you look at it. It's top 4 drivers here who have pulled off to about a 1.2 second lead over Matthew Gall there in 5th. And he himself is up 7 spots. He's up a good deal. But these top 4 drivers have pulled away. And look at the different lines that they're running. I mean, you got to get out some of that, some clean air to that nose of your truck, because dirty air, especially at a track like Pocono, just makes it so difficult. You get so tight. And then you really start to work that right front of yours. You start to build the heat. And then as the run goes, you just really start to hate the way this thing drives. And you see the 14, he's trying to get to the outside of the 00. He wants to get to the right rear quarter panel. That's going to be the best shot to make a pass. But you're also going to probably need some help, maybe from the driver behind you, to make that happen. Have a pretty nice battle for, at the moment now, second, as Andrew Smith's going to slip up here. He's got Rick Baldwin all over his back bumper. So the Toyota of Rick Baldwin. Oh, contact there off of 3 between the two of them. They're going to keep it together. You love that. Just a little bit of a bump and run right there. Or not a bump and run, but just a little bit of some contact, just some love. You keep it going, no problem there. Like, and we're just checking out some of the top speeds that we're seeing, well over 180 miles per hour. I mean, we're getting 191, I think, is the top speed we've seen so far in this run at the end, of course, of turn 1. And I mean, it shouldn't be of any surprise. It is your pole sitter, Daniel Love. Unfortunately, he had something happened to him, and in that first bit, I want to see if we can. While we're working on this green flag run, let's go back to this moment where Steven Shu made the pass on Daniel Love for the lead. So this is a restart, and this was coming off of turn 2. Oh, he gets loose right there. He gets loose, and just like that, getting loose off of turn number 1 on lap 1 is what sends your pole sitter into 6th place, and now he's got some work to do. 1.6 seconds behind Steven Shu to make it up. But again, we mentioned, he's fast out. He made 100. He hit 192 on the front stretch that last time around. So still showing nice speed down the front stretch with that giraffe from Matthew Gall right in front of him. So this pack of about 6 trucks has pulled away now to about 3 seconds over Chris Barker here. He's got Jeffrey Ledford behind him, his Foothills Motorsports teammate there. So they're just trying to build their way back up, while their other teammate, the 00, he has got 5 hungry trucks behind him looking to take this lead away from him. And just like that, you got a battle for the lead. Rick Baldwin's going to get to the inside of Steven Shu into the tunnel turn. They make a slight bit of contact. They'll keep it straight. Going here into turn number 3. What's it going to look like? Can Steven Shu hold off Rick Baldwin? Now 11 laps into this run as they're about to complete lap 11. Also got to wonder where Jason Kinney, who's he going to go with? You see he's now going to the inside, going to push that 19 into turn 1. Is the 19 going to carry too much speed with that? No, he's able to adjust well. The 00 gets tight on the outside. He's not able to hold the truck up there. The 19 clears for first, and he's going to keep the 66 in tow right behind him. He's going to say, hey, you helped me get up here, and I'm going to try to stay here, give you that draft as much as I can. And he's going to clear for second. But I think Steven Shu also may have just let up and said, hey, let me just fall right into line here and not lose too many more positions. And I know I kind of just threw it out there, but so what I was mentioning there with the 19 and the 66 is that the 66 had a choice when the 19 of Rick Baldwin and the 00 Steven Shu went side by side. He could have gone with either one of them to push them and clear the other. He decided he wanted to go with the 19, who was already trying to make the pass on Steven Shu. And the 19 out of, just decided, hey, you know what, you help me and I'll stay right here. He could have cleared in front of the 00 and just made the pass and went along. But no, he said, hey, I'll help you out. Sometimes I'm not, unless it's a teammate, I'll go draft with the guy that puts him in a bad spot. And, both of them in a bad spot and lets me pull away. So that's very awful nice of Rick Baldwin, who's now your leader. And Jason Kinney looking to say, hey, thanks for helping me out, but I'm ready to take the lead away from you here. Just, you got your lap led, but it's my time to lead. You're right. It is some very good friendly competition, and I was just talking about that yesterday in that truck race that I had. Just one of the drivers in that league that I race with and on multiple nights occasionally, James Wright, where we're just, for some reason, we're always beating and banging against each other, but it's just respectful beating and banging, and we just have so much fun with the way we do it. And man, Steven Shu, it looks like he used his tires up early as Andrew Smith now looking to his inside. Andrew was also second at one point. Let's not forget that. So he's also fallen back a little bit as they are now falling into the clutches of Daniel Love, your pole sitter, who had fallen back to 6, finally looking to make up some more spots. Ooh, there we go. The 00 wants to use a little bit of a crossover on Matthew Gall. Looks to the inside. Matthew on that number 78. We'll take a look at that truck in a moment as the 00 is able to clear him once again. Oh, here it comes Matthew with his own crossover. Man, these guys are having some fun. I kind of wish I was out there. These guys are crossing each other over, turn after turn, and look at this. Look at all the room. Not even trying to side draft aggressively here early on. Still only lap 15 of this race. And look at that, just plenty of room, trying to give it to each other, but at the same time racing hard and saying, if you want it, you are going to have to earn it. Matthew Gall just clears himself there in front of the 00, and I don't think Steve is going to try that again. He'll just stay right behind him. So back to my earlier statement here for Matthew Gall, and I just because I saw him posting it in some of the groups on Facebook for iRacing, where he created his own paint scheme and he was real proud of it. So good shout out to him, and it looks pretty good. I like of course him being a Christian man himself, so he wanted to make that well known, and I just think overall just looks like a good looking video. Right now, Steven Shu looking behind us. I don't want to see the behind of it. I just want to get past you. I don't want you passing me at this point in time. I think nice move for him. Actually, he's up 9 spots, so he's your biggest mover of the race right now, up from the 12th starting position. So a little bit out of a starting position for him, but he moves back up into the 3rd spot, a little bit more to where he should be. However, 1.5 seconds almost behind this front group, where Jason Kinney did make the pass for the lead while I was blabbing on about something else. So give me just a moment. Let me go ahead and find where that happened. Oh, it just happened a moment ago. Okay, hold on, just a lap ago. It's like Jason Kinney. Look at that. You see him already looking to the outside, looking. He's just peeking. He's just peeking. We'll see what turn this is. That's the tunnel turn. So he's peeking. Oh, he gets a really good run off the tunnel turn, and that's a great way to make a pass. Get a really good run through the tunnel turn. And Rick Baldwin says, "Man, you got the run on me. Go ahead and take it." And so he'll just let him ride on by. So good respectful driving right there for Rick Baldwin and the 66 as well of Jason Kinney as they exchange the lead. Now 17 laps, or on lap 17, 75% fuel. I gotta imagine that we're probably gonna see one of these drivers come in at one point in time. Yeah, I have to imagine that we'll have to see that one point. So, yes, you are absolutely correct. It is a great night for racing. Oh, Rick Baldwin, big contact with the wall coming off of turn 3, and oh, he's gonna lose a ton of time. I mean, that's the worst place you want to hit the wall. He's losing time and time. He is going a good 8 miles per hour slower than Matthew Gall right behind him. Matthew jumps to the inside. Wonder, does Rick Baldwin have any damage from that? But it seems to be just all right. Matthew, however, going to clear in front of Rick. He says, I want to take advantage of your mishap there for second. And in that moment in time as well, Daniel Love, he's looking to take that 4th position away from Steven Shu. He's going to back right back out of it, give Steven Shu a chance to go on to Rick Baldwin, maybe get a 2-for-1 special if they get side by side. And Andrew Smith still staying just close enough. We move back to this pack in a moment, but Jeffrey Leffert did pass his teammate Chris Barker for that 6th position. There it is. There's a battle for the 3rd position now. It's Rick Baldwin and Steven Shu. So Rick Baldwin has now fallen back to Steven Shu, but they have now both fallen back to Daniel Love, who again had that mishap off of turn 1 on lap 1. And he is trying to make up for a little bit of contact there with Steve. I don't even know if they made contact. You know what? It was close, and I think he may have just used him a little bit. But yeah, he's going to stay all the way to the bottom, give him more than enough room, and say, hey, maybe I don't want to make that contact. I'm sorry. Going to give you the room there. Great respectful racing. Love to see that. And there goes Andrew Smith. He said, okay, hey, we want to be respectful. I'll go ahead and take the spot away while I can as well. Take advantage. Let's go back here into the field. We got a couple of other drivers battling. James Wagner in that number 30 truck running in the 12th position. He was just battling with Jeff Scott in the number 38. At the moment, that's your only immediate battle on track, aside from Rick Baldwin, Andrew Smith, and you see, looks like one truck a little bit upset back there behind Jimmy Rowdy. That was Chris Ramsey in the 13 in 10th place. So lap 20 again. I don't want to just go to a commercial break here before we hit this. Green flag stops. So at the moment, we see that Jason's got a 1.2 second lead over Matthew Gall. 1.3. Just does a great job. I think Jason's probably getting everybody in the tunnel turn. I mean, he gained 2/10 almost there on Matthew just on the tunnel turn alone. So that's might be where he is just pulling away from everybody. Coming off of turn number 3, he will complete lap 20 of 70, making some. Oh, here it is. I said they have to be pitting sometime soon. Steven Shu, Andrew Smith, you see him sliding on the pit lane. We'll have to see, does he speed or not? Daniel Love, Jeffrey Ledford, Chris Barker, Jimmy Rowdy, Chris Ramsey, Andrew Sprinkle, Ty Trafford, Tim Richardson, and Chad Hawkins. So more than half of your field is going to pit here on lap number 21, or as we come onto lap number 21. And here it is, Jason Kinney. You see him slow off of turn number 3. He's going to come down, make his way onto pit lane here. 2.4 second lead over Matthew Gall. Rick Baldwin really trying to make up as much time as he possibly could on pit lane. Almost gets into the back of the 78. They keep it clean there. Jeff Scott, James Wagner, Johnny Hurst. They all pit. Mickey Davino looks like he will be the only driver not to pit. We'll see here with Jonathan Vandenberg when he comes back across whether or not he pits. And from here, we're going to go ahead and ride with Jeffrey Ledford. Let's go ahead and jump on board with him as he's got some fresh fuel goods under him. And where he comes out along with the rest of these drivers. He gained a ton of time because they were well over 7, probably 8 seconds back, I think, and he cut it down to 4.8, maybe even a little bit less than that behind Jason Kinney. He's got a good run here, even on Matthew Gall. So you see how that works out for Jeffrey Ledford, having pit a lap early along with Daniel Love. They got a nice run there through the tunnel turn. Going here, turn number 3. We have a nice battle for what is currently the 4th position, but what will transpire to be the 2nd position once they pass Mickey Davino, who just hit pit lane, and then Jonathan Vandenberg, who has yet to make a pit stop. He's currently in the 2nd position. You see in that Ford truck right in front of the picture, and then Jason Kinney right now with a 4.6 second lead. So I look for Stephen Shu. Yeah, Stephen Shu, Andrew Smith, both of them caught speeding on pit lane. Now, I mentioned how I thought that could be a possibility with the way Steven looked like he was sliding on pit lane, coming to, and that's exactly what happened. So Steven and Andrew caught speeding coming on, and that will require them 40 additional seconds as a stop on the box. You see them making the pass to the number 26 Ford F-150 of Jonathan Vandenberg, who still needs to make his way down pit lane. He's really stretched it now pretty far. He was running a little bit further back as well from these drivers. So they get around him for 2nd and 3rd. Now 4.8 seconds behind Jason Kinney as we complete lap 24 of of 70 laps. We'll go ahead and take you through let's go ahead and take you through the field as we go with your current leader, Jason Kinney from Groton, Connecticut. I'll be honest with you, I don't know where that is in Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut, born there, but not really raised, so that's awesome. Got a chance to talk to Jason hopefully here soon. Daniel Love in the number 71 truck in 2nd. Again, your pole sitter. He's made himself a nice recovery, making his way by. Jeffrey Ledford there in 3rd from North Wilkesboro. Matthew Gall, we mentioned him earlier, he got himself a nice battle with Rick Baldwin, trying to give him as much room. Rick going to make contact with the wall off of 3. Right now in the 4th position does belong to Rick from Roanoke, Virginia. Matthew Gall from New Braunfels, Texas. Hopefully I said that right. Chris Ramsey in his number 13 Jack Daniels Ford F-150 as well. Jimmy Rowdy, Midwest City, Oklahoma, having won each of the last 2 races for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series. Hoping to make that 3 in a row, but right now in 7th, 8.5 seconds behind Jason Kinney. So he's got some room to make up. James Wagner in the number 30 in the 8th position. Jeff Scott in 9th from Merrill, Wisconsin in his number 38. Johnny Hurst in in number 58 in 10th place from Corbin, Kentucky. Chris Barker's in 11th also from North Wilkesboro. In 12th, we have Ty Trafford in that number 82 truck. He's from Fort Worth, Texas. I'm not in Texas. Adam Sprinkle in the number 77. Chad Hawkins in the number 84 in 14th. Tim Richardson, also from North Wilkesboro, here in 15th. Stephen Shu, after having served his penalty, also from North Wilkesboro in 16th. Andrew Smith from Tazewell, Tennessee in the 17th position, Jonathan Vandenberg, who did finally make his way down pit lane from Sanford, Michigan. And then Mickey DeVino also down on his pit box. He is rounding out your field in the 19th position. We'll be right back, everybody. We're going to go ahead and hit our first commercial break of the evening to go ahead and pay the bills here on the Sim Racing Media Network. We'll be right back. Hang on tight. All right, we are back here live from Pocono Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, known to most of the country as a good honeymoon place. However, for us race fans, it is home to Pocono Raceway, and of course here in Pennsylvania. Beautiful track, one that I guess I like more, but maybe just because for so long the races would typically land on my birthday, but case in point. And also, my favorite drivers have won on this stuff. So, I can't be, too mad about that. There you go. Sorry about that. A little bit of a technical difficulty trying to get through some of these trucks. Jeffrey Ledford and the 71 continue to battle for the second position. Looks like the 01 of Ledford has actually made some contact with that outside wall at one point, because you can almost see that right front fender pushed in a little bit. So they're trying to battle for the second position, but we also have a battle between Matthew Gall and Chris Ramsey for the 5th position. Nice job for Chris Ramsey. He's really been making his way up to the field little by little. He did start in the 8th position, now in 6th, trying to get in 5th. He had a little bit of a slip up for a moment, and then we move back here. Another big battle. They're getting past now a lap truck of Mickey DeVino. Looks like Mickey did have to serve a penalty when he came down pit lane, and he also has fresher tires, having pit maybe about 3 laps, which again could be a big difference here compared to these guys. As you have a couple of them with James Wagner in the 30 and 8th, Jeff Scott. Oh, those two almost make contact there into 1. And then right back in front, Matthew Gall, Chris Ramsey, Jimmy Rowdy. These guys are all making some headway, trying to make some passes. So lap 30, things getting a little ramping up a little bit. Some of these guys have just kind of caught each other at the right time. And that second place battle still kind of straight. So we'll keep it back here where these guys are right now side by side, as Chris Ramsey and Rowdy almost make contact there off of 1, I believe, as they head down here into the off of 2 here into turn number 3. And here comes Mickey in those fresher tires as he comes flying through. Wow, Rowdy's going to slide up the racetrack. Yeah, you just want to go ahead and let him by. He's got the fresher tires, just he's not your race. Just let him on by. Duke, that is correct. If you can drive in Connecticut, you can drive anywhere. Listen, I feel like I've driven in 3 is probably the worst places you can drive. There's some areas in Connecticut that I'm from in Waterbury that are really, really bad. Here in Florida, because you have all the tourists and the old people, and then the people in Florida who seem to be scared of the rain. And then in Puerto Rico, where they go 30 miles per hour on the highway, but they want to go 90 or in the mountains. So, yes, I feel like at one point, I'm just about prepared for anything. Regardless of that, these guys are driving about 190 as they go here into turn number 1. Now onto lap 32. So 31 laps of this race completed. So only about 4 laps away from our halfway point of this race. So look for this. Really close there off of that turn for Mickey Davino and Jimmy Rowdy. Almost contact with Rowdy and that lap truck. And Chad Hawkins, Jim Richardson, they're also right by each other, along with Adam Springfield just a moment ahead, as long as he's not blinking in and out for them. Okay. All right. We're having a couple issues, but we'll keep figuring them out here little by little. So back up here to the lead's got 30 seconds here for Jason Kinney over Jeffrey Ledford. He can just kind of keep chilling, keep relaxing. The last time around, however, Ledford was 2.5 tenths quicker than Jason Kinney, and so he's looking to try to make up some time. We know these drivers can go about 20 laps on a set or on a fuel run, so we're looking to maybe only have 2 more. Yeah, maybe only 2 more stops. So probably around actually coming up soon, around the lap 40 something mark. About lap 40. Lap 40, and then again a lap 60. So I wonder, for any of these drivers, have they considered some fuel strategy of, like, in this pack right here, if any of these drivers just sat back and just clutched it this entire time? It's too late now, of course, but I would have just been clutching it this entire time, save, and see if maybe you can't, just, cut out a decent amount of one of your pit stops, and even then, just reduce the amount of time that you are in pit lane. If you don't feel like you're really moving anywhere, just one of those tracks where track position is so hard to gain, just get back there, save your tires, save your fuel. At the end of the run, if they start slipping up on their own and you can pass them easily, awesome. If not, just keep saving, and worst comes to worst, you can just have a shorter pit stop and maybe leapfrog them that way. Hey, thank you, Delina and Carlos, for joining us in YouTube. Once again, we know you're cheering on your favorite Daniel Love in a 71. Our pole sitter again for tonight's race. Right now running in that 3rd position, looking pretty solid as Jason Kinney crosses the line, completes lap number 35 officially now through the halfway point of this race. So these drivers, again, now probably in the next 3 to 5 laps. And also, that's another thing. If you feel, I don't know, we've had too long of runs. I don't feel comfortable short pitting when you have such long green flag runs, because I feel like you end up losing in the long run. And I feel like if you can stay out longer, if you just did a good job overall keeping your tires, that you'd be fine. So, well, that's to each driver's decision, as Chad Hawkins and Tim Richardson now exchange position here for the 14th position. Gotta jump in and find where we can some side-by-side action, but Jimmy Rowdy and Matthew Gall, Jimmy Rowdy and Chris Ramsey in the 6th and 7th position, they are side-by-side as Jeff Scott looks on from behind. And this would be for the 6th position, as mentioned. And Chris Ramsey's got the run. I think Rowdy wanted to go ahead and get to that left rear quarter panel, maybe dump some of that dirty air onto that spoiler, but he just did not have enough of a run to keep up with him. as we go through lap 37 before we hit what we are expecting to be a green flag pit, our next set of green flag pit stops. Go ahead and bring a turn it up session for all of our fans out there. As always, remember, if you've got any type of headphones in, you want to just turn down the volume because it can get loud. Just like that, we hit green flag pit stops for the second time here in tonight's race for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series, brought to you by James Wagner's Welding out of North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. A big shout out to them, as always, for being a big time supporter for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series. Not James Wagner, but James Wagner's father for his business. So again, big shout out to him. And of course, AdminBoxx as well. Let's see if we get there you go. It's finally working there at the bottom left corner of the screen. Again, big shout out to AdminBoxx and all of our partners here for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series. Jason Kinney, your leader, going to make his way down pit lane with a 3.74 second lead over Daniel Love. Going to pit one lap after some of his competitors did. We'll have to see if anybody was able to make it on and off pit lane without any issue. Steven Shue still on track. It looks like James Wagner and Jeff Scott, also drivers who have yet to make their way down pit lane. See Mickey Davino trying to get out of the way, going to tag the wall a little bit. He's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get out of the way, which, you know, sometimes you do. You just tag the wall trying to get out of their ways. He also had, looks like, a speeding penalty or some type of penalty on pit lane that did cost him on that previous stop. Right now, everybody looking clean. Right, just Daniel Love, Jason Kinney, they're coming off. So just leave your top 3 drivers of Jeff Scott, James Wagner, and, well, now your 4th place driver, Steven Shue. And here comes Jeff Scott making his way down pit lane. He said that I'm happy, got myself a lap letter too, and I'm good to go. Here comes James Wagner, gonna make it down pit lane. Don't speed, get it slowed up, Yeah, you don't have to slow it up until really late here, actually into this entry. So that just leaves Steven Shue as he's getting passed here by Jason Kinney for officially is the 4th position. But once everything cycles back out, Steven will probably be back there in the 15th position, 16th, where Andrew Smith currently is. Everybody so far, so good. Jeff Scott, James Wagner, both coming off after solid pit stops, so no problems for them. As Vandenberg, wow, he comes off of pit lane, or I'm not sure if he was coming. I don't know if he was coming off or no. He was just trying to stay out of the way. He's on older tires. He had pit on lap 23. Here comes Jason Kinney now to the inside of Jeffrey Lefford, looking to take the lead on him. Jeffrey had pit a lap early, would give him the opportunity, and this has given us as fans the opportunity for a nice battle for the lead. Now on lap number 43, coming through turn 3, Jason Kinney's got a lap fresher tires. He's had the speed, but this is the closest anybody's been all day. Jason Kinney takes the lead back from Jeffrey Ledford, but don't you count him out just yet. Lap 43 complete, now lap 44. This gives us 27 laps to go. Jeffrey now looking to the inside. Jason Kinney gonna drive right to the bottom. Don't know if it's a block or simply the run or the line that he plans to run. Jeffrey definitely has to back off. That dirty air is gonna be too much to the front end of that truck. He's gonna have to give it himself another lap, maybe 2, if he wants to have another run at the 66. Here right now, Jeffrey's best job is gonna be to just pressure on the 66, force them to use his tires up and give up the lead that they have. I mean, right now, they're battling hard, but look who's inching ever so closer here off of turn number 3 as they go down into the front stretch. And that is the 71 truck of Daniel Love, your pole sitter. It's taken him 45 laps to even sniff the lead again. But you know what? We all know he is darn fast because he was able to put it on pole. And right now, Jason Kinney a little bit loose through 1, but he is really carrying it, trying to hold off Jeffrey Ledford as Daniel looking to make this a 3-way battle for the lead. They have a 5, almost 6-second advantage over your 4th place truck of Rick Baldwin. Unbelievable that we're going to have 3 trucks right on top of each other this many laps in. Yes, the highway of death, I-4. Just a 10-minute drive for me. I'm on it almost on a daily basis for my job. As a motorcycle rider, it is a sworn... I have sworn to never take myself out onto I-4 by motorcycle. Although there are some nicer areas that, you know, what the areas have done up, you know, it's nice. It's a nice ride, but no, I still wouldn't do it on a motorcycle. Too many crazy drivers out there. Aside from that, these guys still going at it here for the lead. Jason Kinney and the 0-1 of Jeffrey Ledford. You did see the bottom left corner of your screen just a few moments ago as it's got this working here. The yellow ribbon for Addison last Thursday. Matthew... let me make sure I get this correct. I don't want to make sure I get the wrong Matthew. Yeah, it was Matthew Ace. Put together a charity race for... close family friend there. It is, and this is actually on the hood of Jason Kinney's car, your leader. So let's actually jump over to him. That's a perfect timing to get this. Where Addison, he did have cancer, and the chemo, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, that everything he had gone through to go away. And it did come back, or I believe it came back because of what was given, and so it was a fun race last week for a lot of the drivers, but also a way to be able to raise money in Addison for that family. They were actually on their way to St. Jude's. We got to speak with his father mostly, and luckily with his mother there at the end as well. And he was explaining to us that they are doing something entirely experimental. And if I'm not mistaken, he's actually the first person that's going to receive such an experimental surgery or whatever it is, procedure that they are doing. And so still keeping him in our prayers. I hope if you guys are praying people that you would do the same. But nonetheless, the most important part, and I was stunned to hear this, that they were able to raise over $1,600 last week for Addison, so and the family. So that is just so awesome. If you do want to still donate, please check out the broadcast from last Thursday. It was here on the Sim Racing Media Network with the Ruff-Neck Racing series presenting, and you see the rest of it. But nonetheless, you can go through the comments there. You'll see the PayPal. You'll see all the information. We'll go ahead and put it up here, but still go back and check out the last race where you can donate in that. So big shout out to them to have been able to do that and just for such a good cause. So Addison, we really do hope you're doing better, and we really do hope everything works out well for you. We'll go back here to the race here just a moment. It is lap 49, so almost 50 laps completed here in this race. We go to look for what could be our closest battle on track is Christopher Barker and Jeff Scott, currently in the 7th and 8th position, with James Wagoner in 9th, and then Chris Ramsey just lurking behind there in that 10th position. But it is a side-by-side battle. Oh no! Big contact between Jeff Scott and the 46 in the tunnel turn with 22 laps to go, and that is your first caution of the day. Wow, man, we just jumped to them too. What are the odds? I will throw him under the bus when he gets here, but not one moment ago, RC had sent me a message saying, we're going to make it to 70. And then that happens. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back and see what I mean, we all saw what happened, but we'll take another look here between Jeff Scott and the 46 going to the tunnel turn. So the 46, I think, is just expecting the 38 to go lower, and the 38 should, I would say, the Jeff Scott should be a little bit lower down the track, but the 46 is the one that makes the contact. So I place blame on both, I guess. 38 could definitely be lower, should definitely be lower. The 46 is expecting him to be there, but also the fact that the 38, I guess, has every right to the space as well. So that would be the issue right there. We'll wait for Paul to jump in and let us know if I'm wrong and what that may or may not be. And just like that, our drivers are coming down pit lane now. Jason Kinney, your leader. The best thing is that this kind of just racks everybody right up. So all that you did, and 20 laps ago, this puts us, I think it should put us, man, this should have came out maybe 2 laps ago. This would have put us right at the start of, at the end of a fuel window. But I believe, Jason Kinney slid through his pit box a little bit. We'll see if that cost him any. That could cost him the lead. But will these drivers be able to just, clutch it and save a little bit, and they should be able to make it to the end of this race, no problem. Forget the 66 possibly sliding in a little bit. We had drivers, or just James Wagoner. I think he took right sides only, possibly coming through there. So that's an interesting decision. Must have felt really solid about how those left sides feel. And you know what? Let's see. Yep, sorry. Jump scare. Yep, gotta get some excitement in for everybody. Let's see who are we gonna bring in. You know what? Let's. People we haven't talked to. Let's see who's in the chat. You know what? Let's go ahead and bring in your pole sitter again now that we have a chance to. Dan, this is Angel here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, well, I do this the right way these times. Why I never try to do it before green flag because it always feels rushed and something happens. You were our pole sitter tonight. It looks like you got real loose there off of turn 1 on lap 1, which would cost you the lead, and you've been trying to claw your way back up since. Up to 4th, this caution, a big break for you think, or did you want that to keep going green?
I would rather it stay green and it pit closer to the end to have fresher tires, but we can make this we can manage this part. I just got to keep it in mind that not to overdrive it like I did the first lap. I'm just glad nobody else hit me.
Yeah, I mean, everybody did a great job keeping it, getting it around you. Unfortunate for you to lose those spots, but yeah, you said it best. You just got to save your tires. It's a nice long run here, assuming we go green to the end. You guys are definitely good on fuel, so it'll just be trying to save those tires. You got to keep it right in that rubber area to try to save the tires the best you can there, Dan.
Yep, and also don't overdrive myself, or don't beat myself.
Exactly. Don't beat yourself. Drive the track and let the drivers come to you.
Yep, that's right.
There you go. Well, buddy, we're going to wish you the best of luck here as you go through the tunnel turn. Good luck, and we'll be talking to you here at the end of this one, I'm sure.
All right, thank you.
Let me make sure I move you to the correct chat this time. There you go. And as we send away our pole sitter, our race control, Paul, I didn't think I'd get to talk to you.
I know. We were kind of talking in the shadows there, and you know, I gotta say, up your nose with a rubber hose, okay?
I had to throw you under the bus, you know.
You totally did throw me under the bus on that one. Thanks, I appreciate you, buddy.
Oh boy, driver's getting ready to go green. What you got here for us, Paul?
So the 38 was underneath the 46, as everybody saw. I went into cab views and saw that the 46 had turned a little bit harder going into the corner than the 38 did, which caused the contact, resulting in the 46 getting an EOL. Yeah,
so that's about what I was thinking. You know, it was more so the 38 could have been lower on the track. Yes, should he have been? Yes. However, he has every right to all the room in this that he has, and for the 46. Rightfully so. He just assumed that 38 would be lower.
Right, and you know, in the code of conduct for iRacing, it does leave it on the guy that is passing to do it safely. So that's the other thing that I had to look at as well.
Yeah, I think you said it perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining in, and man, these guys have just really. These trucks look loose, but at the same time, they seem to be under control.
Yeah, it's almost like a controlled chaos, and I'm actually really impressed with the drivers tonight. They've all really stepped it up tonight. I mean, we had almost 50 laps of green flag racing.
If you go to the broadcast,
it's just outstanding.
As we're talking about that, we have the camera on the wall off of 3, and like 7 trucks hit the wall.
Hey, you know what? They're just trying to improve the aerodynamics just enough. They're trying to get that, you know, that downforce on the tires from the air crossing over the top.
Well, I mentioned if you look at the right front of the of Jeffrey Ledford, the 01, it's pushed in a little bit. So what's happening is the tire's sticking out, and it's cooling the tire a little bit. So it's helping.
Right. I mean, it could be they could be just scuffing it just right.
Oh man,
you know that is a possibility.
All right, we'll let you go. We'll let you go back over to your race control booth, buddy. Thank you for coming.
All right, Angel. No problem.
Oh, we always love having race control come in. Give a shout out to race control as well if you guys are watching here tonight. If it wasn't for him, I'd just be sitting up here questioning and thinking, well, maybe that's what happened. He gives us the insight that we really do need. In the meantime, James Wagoner, shout out to him. He took 2 tires on this stop, and he has just held the lead very well in front of Jeffrey Ledford. And, 16 to go. He's doing a great job. Anytime a caution comes out in the next 5 to 10 laps, I guarantee everybody will be making their way down pit lane for a fresh set of feel goods. And, he was kind of mired in the bottom half of the top 10, more or less. Hadn't really seen much more than that. So, great strategy work for him. And currently out there leading laps as well. As, again, we talked about. He finished 3rd in the Gen 6 race that he had here on Monday. So, I really feel like that's good credit to him, as right now, as you see some of these other drivers getting a little bit more antsy. We are coming down to 15 to go, but right now only one side-by-side action, and that is Daniel Love looking to the inside of Matthew Gall, wanting to get to the inside of Rick Baldwin there, but he's going to have to settle for a side-by-side battle with the 78. Looks like 78 should clear. They'll get right back in line. A little further back, Barker is looking to the inside there of Andrew Smith. Jump back over here to the lead for, actually no, forget the lead. We got a couple drivers making contact there. Jimmy Rowdy, Jeffrey Ledford, they make a little bit of contact through 3. Not sure what happened to Ledford, but he slowed up a ton. I mean, he was running up there in the 2nd and 3rd position, now running back here and losing a ton more time. Something happened, I'm going to say, off of the Tuttle turn. Oh, he's already really slow off of 1. So Rick Baldwin's actually going to get behind him, give him a shove. Gall's going to stay in line. Oh, he clips the apron. Oh, yeah, he clips the apron, shoots him up the track. Oh, he smacks the wall. Does a great job to really avoid doing worse damage. But, yeah, that's what's going to cost, and that's what's going to send Jeffrey Ledford back to the 7th position and also under attack from Stephen Shu, his teammate. I'm sorry, I was looking at Stephen Shu thinking he was under attack for Crims Ramsey. The only battle right now we do have is Jeffrey Ledford on the inside of Johnny Hurst. A little bit of contact there into 1. More contact with Johnny Hurst, and then the 0-0. The 0-1 will clear as they come off of 1, and they'll get right back in line there. That almost got a little bit antsy there as well. 13 to go right now, however, and this battle for the lead does continue. We mentioned it there with Daniel Love. You gotta manage your tires here. You got a long run. It's just about equal to what you've been having green flag run wise, or on a full fuel run. So you want to make sure you really save those tires still. It's not just like it's a quick run to the end just because the race is going to be finishing. Oh, Jimmy Rowdy, good smack against the wall off of 3. That'll cost him some time. Oh, that's what yes, that looks. That looks like Paul saying, "Now I jinxed him." Okay, well, you know what? We all do have our fun every once in a while. So, thank you again, everybody, for joining us here in chat. As always, I always say RC is always on his game. There, he's always gonna get the call. Not always the popular call, and even the call that I wouldn't always agree with sometimes. But I'm a driver, not RC, and you know what? And he explains it and says exactly why, which. You can't really argue from there, which again is why I'm not a race control. I'm always going to say, not always, but usually in favor of the drivers. Drivers coming now. Speaking of, drivers coming here across for what's going to be 11 laps to go. Mostly single file, looks like all the way through. All 19 trucks that started this race are still on track. We have 15 that are currently on the lead lap. Jeff Scott, he was still in pit lane getting a ton of damage repairs, so I think he may have had to tow, which may have cost him his 1 lap. Then Adam Sprinkle, Jonathan Vandenberg, and Mickey Davino. Those are your final or your last two drivers, 17th through 19th, respectively. Also off of the lead lap. I believe Sprinkle and Vandenberg, yes, you see them across the top of your screen. They're 1 lap down, and Davino himself is 2 laps down. And here it is with 10 laps to go. Rick Baldwin said, all right, I'm done waiting behind you, James. I'm ready to take the lead. And he dives here into turn number 1. And I would believe the 4 fresh fuel goods are going to be just enough. And he will clear James for first. Question from here, everybody's going to have to do some work to get past James quickly, or else Rick will continue to pull away. And that would be really beneficial to him. And for James, he's got no reason to just let up and let everybody by. Sure, go ahead and get a good run, but I'm not just going to move over for you. I got a race to run. He's going to get a little bit of tight through the tunnel turn. The 78 is going to give him some room. 78 to 71, if they want to get to that 19 truck, they're going to have to get past James Wagoner, and they're going to have to do so right now. Oh no, you don't have to thank me. I definitely. I mean, I don't say the race control doesn't enjoy what he does, but I do enjoy what I do, and I love the Ruff-Neck Racing series. These guys are. Everybody's always so welcoming, and honestly, the chat is one of the more active chats that we get to, especially the ones that I broadcast. So I really love jumping in and talking with everybody, as long as I remember. I know that sometimes I forget. Not that I forget you guys, but. Race Control definitely doing the work. Oh, Daniel Love and Jimmy Rowdy, they make some contact. It looks like maybe Jimmy wasn't expecting Daniel to let up when he did, going into the tunnel turn. Oh, there is contact. There's a caution. Ledford and Jimmy Rowdy. So we're going to follow this a little bit. Okay, let's get a little bit closer, actually. Oh no, I hit live. That's not what I wanted. Hold on. So Jimmy's going here into the turn. Definitely isn't expecting the 71 to slow up when he does. And then he also turns at a much harder angle. So I don't know if the 29 was looking to go to his outside, but that's where the contact is made. You can tell the 29 definitely did not want to do that because he lets off, gives him the room. And then, because he's so much slower, the 01 comes under him. Oh, and it's just netcode from there because the 01 was there, and that was going to be side drafting. But netcode just takes out Jimmy Rowdy from there. That is unfortunate. Now, I don't know if Jeffrey could get dinged for being too close to him, you know. But we'll have to see how that turns out. And with 8 laps to go, we'll go ahead and, because of my strict rule, we're not going to go ahead and bring anybody in for any interviews here so that nobody can claim a broadcaster's curse. We'll go ahead and put in what possibly could be our final commercial break of the evening. But we'll see, everybody. We'll be right back. And we are back live from Pocono Raceway for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series. This is the Sim Racing Media Network. I am a broadcaster for tonight, Angel Santiago. Again, mentioning earlier at the top of the broadcast, no broadcast partner tonight in Sam Frazier, as his work would hold him for a little bit longer due to some call-outs, unfortunately. And, well, of course, unfortunately, as we always say, the real world and our daily lives do come first. However, for those of us that are able to attend here tonight, these drivers enjoying themselves a nice long green runs that we've been enjoying here for Pocono. Granted, you do 5 laps and it feels like a long green flag run here. But right now, the iRacing.com pace truck, we'll see, probably lights should be going off here. We should be going 1 to green. Yes, lights are off and we'll be 1 to green. These drivers are going to get lined up double file for the restart, which means we will be 5 laps to go once they come across. So with only 2 green white checkers given for the series, I'll double check that to be sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. The next caution would then mean that will become one of the first of the 2 green white checkers because of the longer laps here. So let me go ahead, well, not because of the longer laps, but just from let's see. Two green white checkers, yes. So with those 2 green white checkers, we'll see these drivers looking to try to make up as much time as they can, or make up as many spots as they can, of course.
Hi, I'm back.
Hi, Paul.
Hey. After further review and lots of slow-mo this time, from what I could see, there was no contact between the 29 and 01 before the 29's rear bumper. Yeah, evidently I don't know how to talk tonight either. Rear bumper crumpled. And then once his bumper crumpled, he started to come around, and that's when the 2 trucks made contact. So there was no penalties issued on this.
Wow, it's funny that
except for netcode, we need to kick that girl out of here. I'm telling you.
Goodness, tell me about it. You got it on point. And it's funny. I did mention it looked like a little bit of netcode, but I was like, let me see if I'm right or if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, I took a real hard look at it. And as a matter of fact, they were coming down to almost 1 to go before I made a ruling.
Hey, I think it's fair. And just like that, the drivers are green. So we'll see if how they do going here into 1. What a great view as they are 3 and almost 4 wide going through turn number 1. We'll see them coming off of the turn side by side all the way up to the gears now. 165 miles an hour through there, trying to get well into 180 as they go into the tunnel turn. And thank you, Paul, again for joining us as our cameras are stuck. Let's go. There we go. One of my favorite views. Alright, these drivers settled themselves in. You see our drone cam just from a little further back. Getting a good view of all the action here currently for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series with 4 laps to go here for their very first race at Pocono. I don't feel like I've broadcasted a race for Pocono for them before, so I'm pretty sure Pocono. Oh no, we got a caution. Here it is. Our 3rd caution of the evening. Yep, that will be our 3rd caution here of the evening. So it looks like the number 1 truck of Mickey Davino here. Let's see what all happened with him. A little bit of contact with the 2, it looked like. Ty Trafford. Oh, goodness, more netcode. Oh, my goodness. Jonathan Vandenberg just was getting to his outside. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, at least that's what it looked like from there. We can try to get like a closer view, but yeah, I mean, I guess 20. I don't know. But once again, like I said, that is not up for me to decide. So while we get these drivers figured out what they want to do here, we'll go over briefly at least our point situation here going into tonight's race, because Matt Barker was your points leader going into tonight, or tied for your points leader. Unfortunately, he did have to miss for tonight, and man, I cannot remember why he said he was missing. He had mentioned somewhere. I just don't remember exactly off the top of my head why he was going to be missing out. But he wasn't going to be missing out, unfortunately, for tonight. So your points leader, or at least you're tied for points leader coming in, allows Jimmy Rowdy, hopefully, to try to gain some spots. But then, Daniel Love, he was four points behind both Matt and Jimmy going into tonight's race as your third place driver in the standings. Getting the pole, that'll be a nice bonus point for him as well. And he's looking to try to continue to make up spots. So right now in the third position, looking good, with Jimmy Rowdy being involved in that, not the last one, but the previous incident. Jeff Scott also came in here tied with Steven Shue and Daniel Love with 36 points. So Daniel Love right now definitely working out. Steven Shue and Jeff Scott are 12th and 13th respectively as well. Rick Baldwin, however, he came in only 1 point behind Daniel Love, and he's currently your leader. So Rick, Jason Kinney, he led probably most of the laps today. He was we got a big points shakeup that could very, very, very well happen here after tonight's race. So we'll of course have to see how that will shape up. Right now it is looking to be the 3 to go, so we'll have, yes, the first green white checker will reset back to 3 to go, and I imagine that we should see the lights go off on the pace truck, and we'll get lined up side by side again. As I'm sure as well, we'll hear Paul jumping in with us here in just a few moments. So at the moment, while we wait for these drivers to come back around for the restart of this race, the first of 2 possible green-white checkers, for all of you in chat, make sure, if you haven't already, as I always mention, like, share, subscribe, whatever you got to do. Make sure you get those bell notifications running here for the Sim Racing Media Network. We have action going on for just about every night of the week. We have I think Wednesdays are our double or triple headers. So we have some more action going on right after this one with a couple of our other series. So go check them out. Some great racing that we get on throughout the week here, and so many great broadcasters that we have. I'm just one of many lower on the totem pole. I always joke because these guys that we have on here do such a great job. So love working with so many of them. We're definitely missing out on Sam tonight. I know Daniel wanted to be here, but he's on one of the other broadcasts here. So Daniel, of course, was with us just about all of last season. And so
that traitor.
Well, Daniel even said, he's like, so can I come back to Ruff-Neck? I'm like, I don't make those choices.
It is a traitor. He shall be branded.
I'll let him know. I'll let him know that we're gonna brand him as Paul RC.
No, don't brand him that. Don't brand him that. I don't think anybody wants that brand.
Oh boy, what you got for us there on that last caution?
There was a little bit of net code, but after speaking with the 01 in chat, he stated that he thought his spotter had said he was clear, so he did actually turn up. And of course, he's not in the voice chat; he's having to text. But when he went into the pits, he said, "I heard inside, but it was too late. My fault." So
Okay.
Of course, he's already at the back of the pack, so we're not going to issue on him. But he was very stand-up about it.
Hey, that's what you gotta love when somebody is stand up about it, because it just makes your job just a little bit easier that way.
Right, and I wasn't sure how to call it, and I did see that little bit of net code, but I also saw the front end of his truck go around before there was even any real closeness there. So
that's fair. Here we are, one of two green-white checkers. Thank you so much, Paul, for coming in. Your iRacing.
So I got a question for
Go
you.
ahead.
Who you putting your money on?
Right now, not the 71. Daniel Love did not get a great restart there. Rick Baldwin has been bad fast. I would put my money on Rick Baldwin to go ahead and out there and win this race.
All right. Well, I'm putting my money on James Dougie Wagner. He's always from that he likes to play from that second, third position, and then strike right there at the end while the iron's hot.
Oh, he's got a great run here off of turn number 1. He's just got to wait for these first two drivers to make a little bit of a mistake, hopefully. And here it is, Matthew Gall. He's got himself a great run off of turn number 1 as they head into the tunnel turn. He's going to take the lead into the tunnel turn. He's going to slide up, though. Did he push it too hard? Rick Baldwin's not going to be able to capitalize. He also has to let up. Matthew Gall put him as the leader. Going here into the final lap of this race, can Rick Baldwin get back to the inside of him? Is he going to have to nudge him? Does he need to move him to do it? And your race control shows Dougie Wagner right behind there in third. Is he going to be able to capitalize if these two make contact? Here it is, the final lap for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series here at Pocono. We heard someone make contact. Oh, Dougie's going to get down into the apron of turn 1. That's going to cost him. Oh, bad netcode is going to turn him sideways in front of, I think that was Jeffrey Ledford. That shouldn't have happened. It's going to be now a 2-truck breakaway for the lead. Third place, Daniel Love. He is a second back. He doesn't really have the momentum to make anything happen as they slide there through the tunnel turn. It'll be a fun battle for third, but right now, it's the battle for the win. They go here into turn 3. Rick Baldwin, he is going to try to get there. He's not going to be able to do it. Matthew Gall, they make a little bit of contact, but Matthew Gall's going to keep it. Put Matthew Gall to the victory lane here at Pocono. What a fantastic way to take the lead with 2 to go. Unbelievable. Rick Baldwin does finish second, and Daniel Love going to come home in third. Wow.
Well, that was a complete change from what I expected.
What? I mean, Matthew Gall just wasn't showing the aggression that I saw there. It's like he saved it all for the end. Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, he was most improved last season in Ruff-Neck, and I believe that he was also a champion. I don't know. I may be mistaken on the champion part, but I know he did really, really well. I think he was Rookie of the Year or something.
I think he got Rookie of the Year, yeah, because last year's champion was Barker.
That's right. You're right.
Wow, man, unbelievable, and what a great way. We had three cautions. Not bad for these guys here. Not bad
at all for 70 laps.
For 70 laps here, yeah. I mean, I say for these guys, this is a league that typically just doesn't get these things anyway. So this was a good one right now.
Yeah, this was a great race, especially early on.
Well, let's go ahead and
the green flag pit stops were great. But I'm going to jump out so that you can do your interviews. And thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. And thanks for having someone to talk to a little bit.
Well, I would have come in and visited more, but
No, I don't want to get you in trouble with anybody. You got places to be and
things to do.
And things to do, yeah. Well, I mean, not too much tonight, but you got places to be. Still, we'll leave you over there.
All righty, we'll talk to you later, Angel.
Thank you, Paul. And here it is. We're going to bring in our race winner, Matthew Gall, in the number 78 Ford F-150, burning it down here at Pocono.
What's going on, man? It's about time I talked to you.
I know, Matthew. We've not had a chance to. It's been so much in race chat, but man, here we are finally. Not just to do so on the podium, but you're gonna do so with a victory. Walk me through. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't see this aggression all race long, so I didn't think you had it in you to make the pass on Rick Baldwin. Then out of nowhere, you just pulled off a pass like that. It was. Walk us through this final restart for you, Matthew.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were all kind of on older tires. I had the outside. I used turn one to kind of make sure that I kept momentum on the higher side on him. We got the 71 of Love clear, so I figured at that point, okay, I'm going to dip in behind him, use a little bit of draft with the momentum, and take him in two. And it just worked out perfectly, man. And Rick's a teammate of mine, so he wasn't going to fight me too hard. He knew I had the run, so it was a good run and good teamwork right there.
That makes sense. Teammates right there. Good finish for you guys then to get that 1-2 finish. I mean, and I was able to mention as well. You got your own personal paint scheme in Victory Lane as well. How's that feel?
Yeah, that's good, man. I've been working on these. I got quite a few of them in my livery, and they're on trading paints as well if anybody wants to use them. So I really like these schemes, and we got one in Victory Lane, so everybody's looking at it now.
Yeah, let me get a little bit of a closer view. Hold on just a moment. Let's see. Where's my... There you go. And do you want to talk to us a little bit about your scheme? And then we'll, right after that, we'll let you thank whoever you got to thank and celebrate. And then let you go celebrate. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the scheme is just something I came up with, with the dove on the front. Jeremiah 29:11 is probably one of my favorite verses. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord's plan to prosper you and not to harm you." So, and that's what happened tonight. And I tell you, man, we had to take care of tires here tonight, and that's probably why it didn't look too aggressive. But at the end, when the tires didn't matter, we got aggressive. But I want to thank, first and foremost, Ruff-Neck Racing for putting this on. The sponsors, James Wagoner Welding, AdminBoxx. Without those guys, we couldn't do it at all. And then Social Outcast, the new team that we formed. We really race well together. I really love racing with this group of guys. Hopefully we will be back here next week and talk to you some more.
Hey, absolutely. We really do hope we get to talk to you more now that you get this victory. Just kind of start knocking them off one by one from there. Next week, you're mentioning it, we head to Homestead. How does that track fit into the wheelhouse here of the number 78 truck?
I like Homestead myself. Actually, I've driven on it quite a bit, and I like that high side. It's easy on the tires and it keeps momentum, and not a lot of guys want to run against that wall. So I'm going to see if I can use that to my advantage and see what I can do with it.
I love Homestead is the track that I love. I'm not typically good at, but I love it because it's so much fun. And in the trucks, you're right. That outside, you can just rip it, get right up against it, and it is just so much fun. And you're right. You can save tires that way. So.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Well,
we'll
congratulations.
See.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. But congratulations. You got a whole week to go enjoy this victory.
Thank you, bud.
All right. That was your race winner there. We'll go ahead and bring in now your second place finisher, Rick Baldwin, of what is now mentioned the newly formed Social Outcast Racing Team. Rick, how are we doing tonight?
Yeah, that's right. I'm doing good.
Doing good, man. Oh, so close, but I guess if it has to be, if you're gonna have to lose it, you lose it to a teammate.
Yeah, he took me by surprise there into turn two. I wasn't expecting that move, but fair enough.
None of us were.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy to be here. These kind of runs are what championships are made of. So 3 top 2 finishes, I'll take it.
Yeah, no, that's correct. And I mean, depending, of course, on lap sled and all that, mumbo jumbo, you could either leave with the lead or be tied with Daniel Love. So I know that has to, definitely make you feel good. We just asked Matthew how he feels about Homestead next week. He's excited for it. Question is the driver, the number 19, excited for Homestead next week?
Oh, yeah. Love that track. Want to ride the top? We're going to have a good time.
Oh, I was just talking to him about the same thing. I love riding the top at Homestead too. And it's an SRM personal favorite. It's the track that we all make the trip out to go to and meet each other. So we'll be excited for it. Rick, what you got? You want to let us know anything about the race that you want to bring up, or if not, we go ahead and let you think who you got to thank.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my new teammates, Social Outcast Racing. Congrats, Matt Gall, Dougie, Jeff Scott. Jason Kinney, thanks for running with us. My family watching and my friends, thank you. And I'll see y'all next week.
Appreciate it, Rick. Congratulations again. Yeah, you're right. Another top 3 finish. You can't complain on that one. All right, and then we'll go ahead and bring in your third place finisher. Third place finisher here, Daniel Love. Daniel, I promised we would talk to each other again. I didn't say from what position.
yeah.
So,
I was hoping I'd be in at least in the top 5 after that. Top 3's good. So
yeah, man. After that, what could have just cost you the entire race there to start. Nice recovery here. You showed the speed right there, right time to still get come home with a third place finish. You could possibly, if not lead with the points lead, still be right there at the cusp of it. Is this how you felt? Did you think you'd be this close to up front four races in as we head to Homestead next week?
not at all, honestly. I would have been happy with the top 10 in the points, but and a top, like I said, and a top 5 in this race. But it's working out. It's racing with a bunch of other drivers that know how to drive.
Yeah.
It's that's we can race hard. We can push each other. We can settle in, But it's my hat's off to everybody else too. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's clear as day. I don't know how much some of the fans watch it if they don't do any racing, but me as a driver, I love broadcasting, but I'm always say I'm a driver first, even if I'm not very good at it. But you can tell the racing is hard, but it's just respectful and it's fun. You guys make me want to be out there. You make people just want to shut it off and go race with you.
Yeah,
so it looks like fun racing out there.
It is, and it's a give and take, and at the end it was every man for himself, and I'm just glad it worked out the way it did.
Well, definitely, without a doubt, big shout out to the admins here of the Ruff-Neck Racing Series, and of course all the drivers themselves who still have to be respectful amongst each other. I'm sure you have some people you'd like to thank. You always have your fans here in the SRM YouTube chat. I think today you may have been our most popular driver tonight.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, Carlos, my brother David, my wife's in the room here with me watching. I think both of my brothers are watching. Everybody else, I don't know who else is watching, but thank y'all very much. Y'all know how much I love racing and what the Cup Series means to, or the Truck Series, means to me. Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
It is a ton of fun, and big shout out to them without a doubt. We'll ask you as well before we shut it off, how you feel going into Homestead next week, and how does that fit into what is Daniel Love's wheelhouse?
I'll be more worried about tire wear again, and it's driving the track and not trying to run qualifying laps every lap. Got to be smart about it. So this track kind of surprised me a little bit. I was surprised about the tire wear. How I was able to manage it. So we'll run some next week in practice. We'll see how the tires do, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely, get that tire wear in. Homestead is a track that I love. I'm awful at, so I'm not even going to offer you advice because it'll send you the wrong way. I had one good race there in the trucks where the outside worked, and it was a couple months ago. So again, don't maybe practice it, but don't take too much advice from me. I'm awful there. So congratulations again there, Daniel. Anybody else you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, Chad and Chris. They're the whole reason why I'm here in the first place. They invited me to the league, and this is the first time since, well, I think it's 8 years since I've been on iRacing, 8 or 9 years since I've been on iRacing, that I've actually joined the league and participated. This is the most fun I've had on iRacing. Yeah.
League racing's where it's at.
I've been told that for years, and it's definitely true. So Chad Hawkins and Chris Ramsey, they're the reason why I'm here, and I appreciate them very much.
Well, I'm sure they don't appreciate you finishing in front of them now anymore. But
we're working together.
Of course, man. You got to work together as teammates. So congratulations again there on your podium finish. We'll let you go celebrate that, and we'll see you next week at Homestead.
All right, thank you.
That was your third place finisher there, Daniel Love. Always love getting to talk to our drivers. You know, they're always all so excited and love the enthusiasm that we get from them. We'll go ahead and go over our final results here for tonight's race. Matthew Gall in a nice surprising pull to the end, and actually going to be the biggest mover of the race as well, up 11 spots from his 12th place starting spot. Rick Baldwin going to finish there in second. Daniel Love, your pole sitter, in third. Jason Kinney in fourth. Steven Shu, nice recovery to come back in fifth place after probably having one of the fastest trucks and having sped on pit lane. Andrew Smith, he also had a nice recovery. He was up there with Steven when he also had a speeding penalty. Jeff Scott in 7th, Jeffrey Ledford in 8th, Ty Trafford in 9th, and Tim Richardson, nice job coming out with a top 10 there. Chad Hawkins in 11th, Jimmy Rowdy in 12th, Adam Sprinkle in 13th, Christopher Barker would be in 14th, Chris Ramsey's in 15th, Johnny Hurst in 16th, 17th belongs to James Wagner, Jonathan Vandenberg going to be in 18th, and then to round out your field in tonight's race, Mickey Davino in the number 1 truck in 19th. Want to thank everybody once again for joining us in the chat, as always, for watching it with us. We had a great race here tonight. Great action here from Pocono Raceway. Probably one of the better races that I've had the pleasure to broadcast at Pocono. But the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series continues to deliver such races that I had the pleasure to say so. Thank you again, I've been doing this now for almost 3 years, so a big shout out to these drivers. And again, of course, all the sponsors, James Wagner's Welding and AdminBoxx for joining on for the season. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you all enjoyed Daytona this last Sunday. We head on to Atlanta for the Cup Series, but for ourselves here at the Sim Racing Media Network and the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series, we'll see you next week in beautiful South Florida for Homestead Miami Speedway. Have a great night, everybody.